Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we have another exchange student slash viewers Q&A because you guys keep asking me so many interesting questions that I feel like cannot be answered in a simple comment but maybe need to be talked about more. So without further ado, let's get right on into the video and into you guys' questions. So the first question is, did you experience a reverse culture shock? And also, did it take a while for you to adapt to the American mindset? And were you able to take it back off again once you got back home? So this is a really interesting topic that I will definitely film a whole separate video about the whole reverse culture shock issue and just about different mindsets between Germany and America, or just generally just how America might differ from you guys' country. So I will just give somewhat of a brief answer right now. I would say I definitely did kind of experience a reverse culture shock. I vividly remember the scene where I was picked up by my parents from the airport and we went to drive home on the highway, and then we had to stop at a gas station, you know, to get snacks to go to the bathroom. And I was sitting in the line to the bathroom and I was just waiting and kind of probably my thoughts, because I was probably really tired from the travel part of the whole journey. And then the person in front of me in the line was moving up and I probably didn't move up quick enough, you know. And then a German person behind me kind of was pretty grumpy and like yelled at me kind of to move forward quicker. And in Texas that would have never happened, you know. Somebody would have been like, oh darling, you know, maybe move up or something, or sweetheart or something, or not have said anything at all because they are just really friendly like that. And that was kind of a moment where I thought, oh yeah, I'm back in Germany, you know, people are kind of grumpy again and like kind of don't care to be, you know, nice to strangers at all. And just, you know, little parts I had to learn how to address German again, because it took me so long to adapt to the American way of, you know, wearing clothes or styling my hair and stuff like that, that it kind of took a while for me to grow back into my German self, or maybe to create a mixture of the two. I also definitely had language issues where, you know, English words would come to my mind much quicker than the German ones, so definitely a bit of reverse culture shock. And also, you know, when I got there, which is the second part of the question, it did take me a while to adapt to the American mindset, you know, being extremely open and extremely nice, especially in the South, and adapting, you know, the way of talking, all of these like sayings or expressions, and also the religious aspect of it. So certain things you don't say or don't talk about, or ways in which you talk about things, definitely took me a while to kind of figure out and learn. However, I think that's just, you know, part of being thrown into a new culture. It just takes a while, but you definitely learn at some point to kind of adapt. And I think when you come back home, you turn out to be somewhat of a mixture of both of these things, like your, you know, natural kind of culture and behavior, and also, you know, the behavior that you kind of integrated into your being when you kind of were away for so long. So definitely kind of a reverse culture shock and a lot of figuring out your new identity after. The next question is really interesting, and I'll also talk about this issue in another video because I think it's super important, and it's kind of about exchange student and host family relations and how you should deal with host families, how you should kind of behave around them. So that's definitely a video that I'll do, or maybe that I have already done depending on when this video comes up. So definitely check out my channel, it might already be up. But the specific question was how to deal with your host family when you are invited to parties. So should you ask your host family before you actually accept a party invitation, and should you let them know where you are 24/7? So it's kind of a complicated thing. It kind of depends on your host family, to be honest. My host family was pretty relaxed. They trusted me in a lot of aspects, also because they had already had another exchange student the year before. I would say the best way to handle this situation is, I would say, if somebody invites you to a party, I would just show how excited you are to be invited, because that makes them more likely to invite you again in the future if you do show that you are excited about it. And then once you go home, you know, talk to your host parents, explain, you know, where the party is, how you're gonna get there, how you're gonna get back, who's gonna be invited, you know, maybe give them like some contact details of the person's parents or of the person, you know, just so that they feel safer. And definitely ask, don't just go. They need to know where you are, they need to know who you're with, and they need to know that you're safe, because they are responsible for you during this time. But to the second part of the question, they don't need to know where you are 24/7. They kind of need to have a rough idea, so they should kind of it's difficult, you know. They should know when you're you're in school, they should know when you're with your friend. If you and your friend decide to go get ice cream, you don't necessarily need to text them and be like, hey, we're getting ice cream. But they should know one of two things at all times, I think, which is either where you are or who you're with. And if they know either of those things the whole time, then I think they should feel pretty safe. Just be like, hey, yeah, I'm hanging out with my friend Hannah, for example. You don't need to update them and tell them, now we're going to get ice cream, now we're going into this shop, now we're going to the movies, now we're doing this. You don't need to do that, but just kind of let them know who you're with and what time they can expect you to be home. And if it might be later or something, definitely, you know, update them, but they don't need to have like a tracker on your phone and like be able to live follow you everywhere. That's kind of a breach of privacy, so kind of find that balance, but remember that, you know, they are responsible for you, so you need to make them feel kind of safe and confident that you're going to be okay. The next question is, what did you expect to get out of your exchange year? This is such a hard question to answer because obviously, you know, this was a long time ago and it's hard to remember what I thought before I actually started, but I definitely expected to just get to know a lot of lovely people, and I definitely did. I expected to improve my English, which I think I did. I expected to just learn a lot of new things, which I also did. I think I actually learned a lot more than I thought I would, and I tried out a lot more new things than I thought I would, so that's pretty good. I think I expected to travel more. I didn't do a lot of traveling, but that depends on your host family and what they're doing like during the year and what their financial situation is and everything like that. So yeah, overall I think most of my expectations pretty much happened. They might have happened, you know, slightly differently or in a different capacity, but overall I think most of the expectations came true. I would say, however, try to manage your expectations before and do not expect it to be like a movie or anything like that. Yeah, just kind of, you know, keep your expectations low and you'll be surprised in a positive way. The next question is, how many friends did you make? I would say, without counting them all, 5 to 10 maybe. I would say probably like 5 really good friends and maybe 10 like pretty good friends a total. Yeah, I definitely have a few people that I'm extremely close to and that are extremely important to me, and there are also some that I dearly love but that I don't stay in touch with as much because, you know, as I said in my first Q&A of this new series, it's really hard to lead 2 lives at the same time, and there are just a certain number of people you can keep up with during your day-to-day life. But yeah, I think maybe 5 to 10 pretty good friends, but that is a high number, and you have to remember that I had this number at the end of my year. Those friends were not made like, you know, in the first 3 or even 6 months. Those friendships like is the accumulated number that you have at the end. So don't put too much pressure on yourself right from the get-go to be like, oh, I need to make at least 5 friends. If you have one friendship, that is amazing. That is so much more, you know, than you could ever have asked for, and that is so important and so valuable. So don't put this pressure on yourself to have like a certain number. It's really more quality than quantity that's important. But yeah, I think you can expect to form 5 pretty good relationships or make 5 pretty good friends. I'm really, you know, really happy with that number. I think that exceeded all of my expectations because yeah, that was pretty cool. The next question is, did you ever feel unsafe, especially considering school shootings? There haven't been many times when I was in school and I thought about school shootings. I must say there was one time because I kind of witnessed a guy being bullied, and I obviously, you know, tried to stop it, but I realized I was only an exchange student, only going to be there for a few months, and I couldn't have possibly had, you know, a long-term impact on that situation. And I knew that when I left, I probably, you know, that probably would have continued, and it wasn't something that happened every single day, but it got me scared because those situations can be real triggers for people to, you know, someday maybe feel like there's no other way besides, you know, doing something horrible to themselves and others. But besides that, in day-to-day, you know, kind of high school life, I didn't really think about school shootings, I must say, but I am aware that it's definitely a thing. I would say I felt more unsafe in Texas due to natural circumstances like the weather. There's obviously tornadoes coming through sometimes. There is definitely dangerous animals that I wasn't used to, like spiders or snakes or something like that. If you go to somewhere like Florida, there's also going to be something like crocodiles, or maybe you're at the coast and there might be sharks. So those were definitely more of the things that I felt more unsafe about, was like natural things. School shootings, you kind of forget about unless it's time for like the school shooting drill, which we, for example, never get in Germany. You never, at least my school never had a school shooting drill, so it is something that's sometimes in the back of your mind, but you do tend to forget about it oftentimes. So it depends though. Some schools have like metal detectors, and that will probably not let you forget it that easily, but my school was pretty small and we didn't have metal detectors. But overall, I felt safe mostly, I would say. And the last question today is, did you listen to any local music? I actually did a Q&A. I think it was one of my first Q&As on this channel where I answered the same question, and now I want to change my answer because there I think I said something like I didn't really listen to local music. That is wrong. I did listen to local music. For Texas, that would be country music mostly. I definitely did listen to country music, although I would say that I listen to more country music now than I did back then because my host family's taste wasn't really so much country music. So I definitely listen to country music now and I appreciate it so much more. I actually love being in Germany and listening to country music because all these like big artists like Eric Paisley or Luke Combs or all of these people come here, play extremely small venues, and you get tickets for really low prices, and it's really awesome. I actually talked to Eric Paisley for like 5 minutes after his concert and we had like pictures and everything because there are a lot less people here in Germany that listen to country music, so it's actually really great for us. So yeah, I definitely did listen to, you know, country music, and I really like it now, and it's such a huge part of the culture there as well. So just wanted to change my answer from that first Q&A. So you guys, those were all the questions that I had for this week's video. As always, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you have any other questions, do not hesitate to put them down in the comments below. I would love to make another video like this for you. And also, if you like this video and if you want to, you know, keep updated with this channel, hit the subscribe button down there. I would love to grow this lovely community. This has been so amazing, and I want to keep continuing this journey with you guys. So that will make me extremely happy. And yeah, I have nothing left to say but to thank you guys and see you in my next video. Bye!